Welcome to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
What is going on, everyone? This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor. And we're going to do the NXT review for 11-3. You know, it's the first show after No Mercy. And they did a little shaking up during No Mercy, you know, with everything that was going on. You had Mustafa Ali, I believe, supposed to be in the middle of some things. And next thing you know, now you got Trick winning the North American title. You've got, you know, you had Becky and her match, which you had Tiffany get a little busted open. So Barbie Doll got busted open. So look, you know, a good spot. And everything. So we're going to go into the review the first week after. And, you know, of course, they're going to start off with the recap and go over everything. And they had some good stuff to go over, you know, with Mello losing and then Trick winning, of course. And then you had Braun coming out trying to look like the Undertaker, rolling out on a hog. You know, he had some good stuff, you know. Dragunov, you know, coming out. I mean, can't ask for anything more than that. So, a good pay-per-view, or a good premium live event. And then, yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into it after the review. And of course, they're going to have the ladies breakout tournament involved in here, have the first match with that. So, Becky, you know, Lynch starts it off, and she's pretty much given the tease for Halloween Havoc. And then you got Valkyria coming out and explaining how, hey, the lady up the road from me over there and over yonder across the pond, she came over and did it, and maybe I can, and so gave the nice inspirational speech. Well, then, you know, after that, you're going to have Indy Hartwell make an appearance back on there. So Australia coming back there. Then you got Roxanne coming out. So you got everybody in the ring. So Becky, of course, is in charge of the stick, and she lays it down that there will be a number one contender match. So, so yeah, that's what's coming up. And then they introduce the breakout ladies. And, of course, new names, and I'm not the greatest at it. So you had, I believe, Carmen Peteroff. You got Jakara Jackson. You got Lola Vice. You got Jada Parker, and Izzy Dame, Dana Palmer, Kiana Jordan, and or Anna Grace, I guess you would say, yeah. But yeah, so that they are all in the breakout tournament, and they'll have one of the matches coming up. But yeah, you've got they jump into a good one when you've got Butch and Tyler Bate, the big strong boy, going against Gallus, because you know Gallus jumped in, got all up in their business during the Heritage Cup tournament thingy-jig, whatever, yeah. But anyway, Gallus got all up involved in it, jumped on Tyler and Butch. So there is a manner of revenge. And you know what you're going to get in this match. Now, Butch and Tyler Bate, the big strong boy, they have teamed up, of course. There's a history there, absolutely. So they know each other's moves. So it is kind of fun for somebody that didn't see a lot of their earlier stuff, just knows off the history that they know each other's moves so good. So it was really good. You had even the big strong boy doing some tying up of the fingers and stuff, and the joint mutilation. So a good match. Butch and Tyler are going to pull this off. But of course, afterwards, Joe Coffey's got to jump up in there, and they're going to throw down and throw a little whooping on him. But Butch's buddy, Fight Night crew, Rich Holland shows up. So you're starting to get this big influx of talent from the main roster coming in and building this, and it just gets bigger and gets bigger as the night goes on. So, good match and everything as far as that goes. So, you might want to go back and, so far, I can't hate on anything, man. Go back and watch. I'll tell you if you don't need to. But they do a little Dragunov promo because he is now the champ, and he's coming out looking mighty dapper, if I might say. So he cuts his promo, and everything's all good. Good little spot. He does. I'd rate him a C+, B- type guy with the stick, and it may be a lot because of the translation. He wants to say certain things, and I'm not talented enough to speak the languages a lot of these guys and girls do, so I'm not going to hate on that. But he does his promo, and then you got Trick coming out. So, and the crowd is just going crazy. They've even got the signs that say, whoop that Trick. And I'm sure my boys in 3-6 are loving the money they're getting off that. But anyway, he comes out and he pretty much says, hey, that fight that we had, that last match we had, you brought something out of me that I didn't know I had. And I thank you. Kind of like old ZZ Top song, you didn't have to shake it like you did, but you did, and I thank you. But they're shaking hands and kissing babies, and well, him got to come out and say, man, look, I've been telling you that you were championship material, and I can see they're building an angle. So I'm loving it. They're setting up something on down the road. Could you see WrestleMania? Trick and Mello? In a match together there, we'll never can tell. But then you got Dominic coming out because, Mello's over there telling him, look, man, it's one thing to win the belt. It's another thing to defend it. So he's trying to drop some knowledge on him or whatever like that. And Dom comes out. The crowd goes. You know what the crowd does. And, so he convinces, because Mello has said that he knows that how Judgment Day rolls, and that he'll stay out at ringside. And Dom makes the classic little heel, you can't do it by yourself, you're 6'4" or 2, whatever. And it's Mello sells it then. Not Mello, but Trick sells it then, and then declines Mello's help to be on the outside. So it's going to be Trick versus Dom for the North American title coming up. So, we got that going. Then you're going to have a triple threat match from the promo earlier for the number one contender for Becky Lynch's belt, for the NXT ladies belt. So you're going to have Indy Hartwell, you're going to have Valkyria, and you're going to have Roxanne. And you're going to get Becky, the man, on the mic. So, yeah, good match. I mean, really is a pretty good match. Now, Roxanne is definitely gotten better, but Valkyria, man, she's got some good offensive moves. And then, of course, Indy, you need that other person that can facilitate everything, and that's what Indy Hartwell can do so well. So good match, good match. Roxanne is Roxanne, I just, how it goes. But Valkyria, man, she's got some as they said, educated feet. So yeah, she's got some, the first person I think I heard that from, about was, some of the Japanese, wrestlers that would come over back in the day. And Tojo Yamamoto. There was a little guy in my territory named Tojo Yamamoto. And he had these wooden shoes. And now this is a little guy, but he was so good at throwing, and he couldn't hit the guys barely above their knee, or what most of the big guys, but he would chop them down. And then, after that, you had people like Muda and other people that came through that they used that reference of educated feet. But anyway, this is a pretty good match. It comes down to where, all right, you see it. You see the writing on the wall. Roxanne ends up in a pin on Hartwell because she's been hurt. And so you know how it's going to end. Valkyria is nowhere to be seen. And then out of nowhere, Kiana James shows up. Yep. And if you look at if you go back and watch this now, you'll look at it. Becky is playing it. She is selling it while she's on the mic. You can see Kiana go in and pull her out. Ref doesn't see it. And if you look, you can see Becky's reaction like, oh no, she didn't. She's like, I'm getting ready to whoop me some. And she proceeds to go up and whoop her some Kiana James. But that makes the door open for Valkyria, which goes up, and I believe it was a splash, if I remember correctly. And, she pulls out the win. So, of course, afterwards, since she gave such a lovely speech earlier, being a homegirl from the same area, they start smacking gums in the ring, and so they're setting it up. But you got Miss Knox that has got a shot before, and I don't think it was WWE. I think it was AEW that had a slip up a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, to where they announced a match while there was a prior match, an important prior match. So you didn't know who, so you knew who won that match because they were already booked in the big city. I think it was AEW that did that. But anyway, so you've got Valkyria going against Becky James coming up. But then they've got a cool little promo I liked. Mello's leaving. They're doing a little promo with Mello. And Braun Breaker comes from out of nowhere and lays his verbal smacketh downeth. And I liked the angle they were doing with that. I liked it. And they were all putting it back to building up Trick versus Mello. Well, it's coming. It's coming. I said that a while back about New Age, not to New Age Outlaws, but Street Profits, and they want another angle with that. So I'm gonna say though, I can see Trick and Mello in a match coming up. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, you've got Dragunov getting his belt, getting his actual name put on the belt, like they're screwing it in and putting it on the belt. And Baron Corbin comes out of nowhere and reminds him that he's got to win over him. So we know where this is going now. So it's going to be Corbin and Dragunov coming on down the road. And they go into a couple little promos about Gigi Dolan and Blair Davenport and their history. So this is a match after Gigi's been jumped, and they introduce Blair, and she's coming out. They've got the smoke. You know, you hear a lot of these people go, "We want the smoke." Well, there was the smoke there, and Gigi jumps her in while the smoke hasn't dissipated yet. So it's like a like an old Undertaker match or something like that back in the day, the Brothers of Destruction. But they're throwing down in it, and I think it adds to the match. It looks good there. Gigi actually looks pretty good in this match. Blair's, she's bad to the bone, so she's always going to look good. But Gigi looked pretty good in this match. So throwing down, I was a little surprised. But yeah, you got. Let me see. Gigi's going to win this one, of course, but she jumped her at the first in the smoke. It all looked cool. The match was good. It is not so bad to go back. As the show so far, guys, go back, man, watch it. You're going to have a little spot about Roxanne being the breakout winner from the prior year, and Kiana James uses that for her excuse to why she jumped in and interfered in the match, pretty much saying that, hey, they came through the door at the same time, and she wasn't going to let her get her second shot at the belt before, she had won one. So anyway, all right, so you're going to go from there to where you're going to have the first match in the breakout tournament. And it's Miss Jordan versus Izzy Dame. And I've seen Miss Jordan. I haven't seen Izzy Dame. Wait a minute. One thing I did not mention in the Roxanne, they were the promo, and then they went to Kiana James explaining why she jumped in. She did make a call. And back in the day, I would have said she called an old bounty hunter to come in and take care of some something. And but she kind of did that, and it's Oscar. It's Oscar. So Oscar's going to be on NXT, another main roster person coming in. New vision maybe in the company. Other people having a voice in the company. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they were holding back until they signed all the paperwork before they got a little aggressive on some changes. I don't know. But we will see, of course. But yeah, they're going to have, the Izzy Dame and Miss Jordan match. It's a good match. I didn't know anything about Izzy Dame. Apparently, she was a volleyball player. And when they were going through all the stats on these ladies, I think it was 3 gymnasts, an MMA fighter, a volleyball. Look, volleyball is a lot tougher than people would think. And so the volleyball player, I could see because of the cardio and everything, and falling and taking the bumps. So you could definitely learn how to take the bumps, but the gymnast, yeah, they're going to tuck and roll. And then the Vice, the Lola Vice, an ex-MMA guy or girl, excuse me, but, looked impressive every time I've seen her. So, but anyway, we'll go back to the match. The match, Jordan kind of gets whooped on pretty good, and Miss Dame looks good. I like her facial expressions. I like the way she moved. I think she was an MMA fighter too, or it had MMA, if I can't remember exactly. But she looked, Izzy, I could see coming on later on. I mean, she put her up in the torture rack. And because Miss Jordan is so flexible, she knew how to sell it, I guess. I mean, because she laid back and looked like she was like she bent her all over. I mean, it was all over her shoulder. That looked, I mean, I have a bad back. So when I look at that, I have to look away. It's like nails on a chalkboard or something. But yeah, she sold and she wins. But Izzy Dane kind of liked it. And then you're going to have a little spot with Thea and JC Jane. And, Duke and Andre Chase, they want to know if they can come out to the ring for her match. Like old times. And, JC goes, you mean like a chaperone? So they're definitely playing that age. They keep saying grown-ass woman. Thea's a grown-ass woman. Well, okay. All right, so they're playing that angle. I do like the fact that they do have the guys going, I really don't want to see that because I think of her in one way. It's kind of a cool little, in this modern day, is something kind of you don't hear of. And then they tease, I believe, maybe, I don't know, a Saturday show coming. Maybe that's what that was. Not sure. But you're going to have Thea and JC Jane in a match with Elektra Lopez and Lola Vice. And I'm really high on the Lola Vice lady. I think, and Elektra Lopez, I like her too. But Lola Vice, I believe, is just a diamond in the rough. I think they can definitely work because of her background and everything. And JC Jane, is JC Jane, the rock star girl. But yeah, Thea, the one they're building, the one that they're building. They're putting a lot of their eggs in one basket there. And maybe they say something that I don't. I'm not saying that she's not good. Her submits and everything, or they got her with that angle, and I kind of like that angle they took on that. But, even the entrance, like when Lopez and Vice come out, they look like rock stars. They got the Cuban dance, they've got the Cuban background, or the Latin background. They do everything right there, and I could see a push with them or something like that. At least I believe they should get a push. But anyway, in this one, you're gonna have Thea ending up getting a submission. So that's the way that one's going to end. They had a watch party in the middle. The ladies all getting together. These watch party things, ever since Meta, I'm blaming it on Meta or Noam. But yeah. All right, so let me see here. We got Electric Lopez. Lopez submits. Mello, and Braun have their little spot again because Mello has made a phone call. And Mello says that he called. And I got to say something. The greatest of all time, John Cena. Their words, not mine. Maybe the greatest of all time of T-shirt sales. I don't know. I'm not the analytics guy. But the greatest of all time. Really? The greatest of all time. That's a heck of a statement. I mean, I go back to Gorgeous George. I go back to, I saw some great ones. Terry Funk, Dory Funk, the Briscoe brothers in their prime. I kind of go back. Bruiser Brody was the monster before there was a monster. Chief J. Strong, the Dusty Rhodes with a crowd. Ric Flair. Whoa. I mean, greatest of all time. That's according to the announcers for NXT. But yeah, he gave Mello some advice. So, and he is going to show up on NXT. Now, how thankful are they for the strike with the writers and the everybody involved in the entertainment business? It's on strike. So, yeah, I guess if they ain't got nowhere to go make $1 million a week, they'll roll up over here and make $100,000. Rough job. Rough job. But all right, so now you're going to have the Dominic Mysterio versus Trick Williams match, the main event. And, of course, Dom's going to come out with Rhea Ripley, Mummy, and I didn't even say that right. That sounded, yeah. Anyway, and Trick's going to come out to a barrage of a orchestrated whoop that Trick. That's right. Still taking credit. All Memphis born and bred. But anyway, they get into the ring. They have a great match. Dom is, though, definitely more seasoned, a better wrestler. Let's just be perfectly honest and say that. I know I'm not sure of the years that Trick's been doing this, how long he's been training, but Dom's been training from the womb. So, he is better, but he sells greatly in this match, makes Trick look good. I like the action in this match. Trick's holding his own. It's really going good. I'm kind of digging it. And then you've got Damian Priest and Finn Balor that come out of the back. That's right, the tag team champs come from the back. Trick gets a little distracted. Dom throws down. So Dom gets a little butt whooping time. And you know how this is going to go. It's basic classic 101. You've surround the ring with one side. Trick starts to make a comeback, and then that's when the circus act goes in. And I think in this one it's almost too many people. But you've got, let me see if I can remember somewhat of the sequence. Rhea throws the belt in. She throws the belt in. The referee doesn't catch that. It tries to be used. Then someone jumps on the apron. They're going to pass the Senor Damon Priest, Money in the Bank, is going to pass the briefcase. Ref intercepts, then pops Trick on the outside, from the apron on the outside, with his belt. Trick goes down. Dom Mysterio goes to the top, gives the Eddie Guerrero across him, and bam, you have a winner. So they gave Trick a little push, though. They gave Trick a push. And I just don't know I wish I could have been a fly on the wall in the writer's room when they were trying to figure all this out. Mustafa's gone. We were trying to get this done. We had this angle going here. We had this. Now we got to change it. So we got to do this. We're going to do this. We'll put Trick up for a week. We'll give him a little boost. We'll set up an angle with him and Mello. I don't know. And that's just speculation on my side. Absolutely. But this is what I was really surprised. The match, you notice, well, at least I do, I watch the time on the match, so I know that they've got a couple minutes, so I'm expecting either some promos or something to that effect. Well, kind of a promo, because the next thing you know, you see Mr. Paul Heyman, and he's been given a task by apparently our tribal chief, So yeah, John Cena keeps wanting to get involved in bloodline business. So I mean, I guess you could say Roman told Paul Heyman to go on down to Florida, go on down there, and you get up in the ring, and you be in Braun Breaker's corner. A lot of things there. You can smell what they might be cooking. Could be Braun getting brought up to the main roster somehow. If there's a break, or I don't know, bloodline, probably not bloodline, but on down the road, could Paul Heyman be representation for Braun? I mean, but the big thing is that Paul Heyman is coming to NXT. So with this influx of main roster people, they are really putting the time and the effort to build NXT, and I'm happy. I'm glad they are. And let me see. So yeah, brand build, brand build 101. But yeah, so we got Paul Heyman coming. We got some good angles working. I'm kind of happy. So guys, I would suggest going back and watching this, and checking it out if you were wondering if you should take the time to do it. So, and I recommend. So, all right. But guys, before I screw it up somehow by talking too much, I'm going to get on out of here. So this is Memphis Mark. And, if you can, help them shelters out, spay and neuter. If you can, absolutely spay and neuter. And there's a lot of places you can get it done free. But anyway, guys, this is Memphis Mark. And after a good show, I hope you have a great week, because I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.